Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. Today we have a super special guest, the Sofirn IF19. So, my dog thought this was his dinner and ate it, but luckily the case isn't what matters. It's the flashlight inside. So let's open it up. Let's see what we got. So I've been super interested in one of these lights for a long time, these mini throwers, as I found it hard to believe that a tiny flashlight like this could really be super bright and throw very far. And luckily, I was pleasantly surprised that they can. All right, so this is the Sst40 6K version. It comes with a Sofirn branded 18350 battery. And this battery is pretty good for this little light. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I did buy a couple higher rated batteries, Vapcell, and I ordered this Epic. And these are both rated at 9 amps, 11,000 milliamp hours. To be honest, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference between the Sofirn battery and the more expensive batteries. All right, so while we have it taken apart, let's look inside. It does have a gold spring, gold plated spring. If it was 100% gold, I'd rip that thing out. All right, and then opposite of that, let's check out the tail spring. Another, yep, gold plated spring. So Sofirn does have, well, this is a mini tube. And one thing I really love is how I can, you know, like play Legos with my flashlights. So Sofirn makes all of Workhorse's flashlights, as you can kind of see where the IF19 inspired the Workhorse TS11. But what I can do, I don't have other Sofirn, well, 18650s besides the Sc32, and I don't think it works with this one. I think I did try it and it didn't work. Yeah, so this one has exclusive proprietary threads to this flashlight alone because of, you know, the construction of it. But what I can do, I'm sure it would work with like an SC31 Pro. What I can do is I can take off the body from my Workhorse FC13, plug it in here, and now it's an 18650. And it's still a super slim, small flashlight. Even the head just isn't that big. Granted, it's a tiny bit smaller than the IF22A. And a little different shape. This is a little curved right here. But yeah, it's not obtrusive. And that's one thing I thought it would be with this bell-shaped head. I thought, you know, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's really not. I can stick it in one of my front pockets or my side pocket, and it sits in there really well. All right, so Legos with flashlights, lots of fun. All right, comes with an instruction manual, and it claims max 2000 lumens, and 461 meters of throw. Excuse me. It has a luminous Sst40 LED. This one's rated at 6,000 kelvins. And if you guys have seen my other videos, you know I like to do emitter swaps. And there is already an emitter swap up on this flashlight. So I'm not a huge fan of the Sst40. It's an amazing LED. It really is. But I like to put in, you know, the latest and greatest or something different just to try it. So currently this has the Yinding L50 high 20 watt, and I ordered that LED before I saw that there was a Yinding L50 high 30 watt. So I have two of those LEDs coming in, and I think I will put one of those in there just to see if it's any better. But I'll have some shots, some beam shots. All right, comes with a nice USB-C cord and an O-ring and lanyard as well. All right, let's take a look at the light itself. The outside, not the inside. We've looked at the inside. So this tail cap is really cool, I think. It does tail stand very easily. And it's just a little unique. There's a nice little hole right here to slip your lanyard in case you want to carry it that route. And it makes sense to hang this from your wrist. You know, it's light, it's small, and it's very nice. So nice knurling, like right here in the center. It feels really grippy. And for such a small light, this is where I really like this tail cap. So I hold a lot of my flashlights like cigars, and I can grip this and move it, where with one of these it's a little bit tougher because it's just flat and round. But this makes it much easier for me to adjust the beam and just keep my hands on it. But really nice diamond knurling, and the same diamond knurling is up here around the bezel. Let's see, it's 6061 aluminum, aerospace grade, and they do hard anodize, and you can tell because I beat the shit out of my Sofirn lights, and they still look really, really nice. Much better than my Phoenix. So it does have a side switch, nice metal button, and a little metal ring surrounding it. It does have some sort of shallow cooling fins on here, because this little guy does get very hot on turbo. On high, not so much, but on turbo it gets pretty hot. Let's see, it's a TIR reflector. It stands for Total Internal Reflector. And there is a piece of glass AR lens that protects the TIR optic. And I've taken this apart. I can show you guys what's inside in case you want to see. And I mean, the video I did on this is quite extensive. I ended up accidentally breaking my positive lead, so I had to resolder that, and man, it was a mess. But yeah, soldering in here wasn't my best work. Please don't judge. I've done better, I promise. But it works, and when I kind of just half-assed it because I knew I was going to come in here and change this LED back out. Right? Sounds like a good excuse. That's a reasonable excuse. I'm not lying. I'm being honest. Actually, I am lying. Okay. So that's what it looks like inside, in case you're wondering. Gosh, it's still kind of messy. All right, put this back together. Well, I'll do that later. But I really like these little throwers. And I think there's a there's a broad range in the market for these, in my opinion. Because who doesn't like a tiny little thrower, you know? And I've seen from this come the Workhorse TS11. And then, hey guys, if you do work on your lenses, like if you're handling a TIR optic, I do recommend wearing gloves. But like I said, I'm gonna go back in here and fix this. So I'll clean it all up then. But I do recommend wearing like nitrile gloves whenever you're working inside on the MCPCB or LED. All right, so twisted it shut. It's got a green indicator light saying it has power. Let's go through the modes. We do have a moon mode while it's in off. Hold. One click for off. There's 3 stepped modes. 2, 3. Turbo. And then if you click 4 times really quick, it'll go into ramping. Now we're into ramping. Man, Sofirn really knows how to make a flashlight, I tell you what. I actually like this design better than this one. I mean, I like this light better, because I like to be able to see it at night, and I really like the TIR, or I'm sorry, the RGB lights. They're really cool, but I like the design of this one better. This does probably have a bigger cooling fan, a fin, not fan. Can you imagine a fin on, or a fan on one of these? And the TS11's a little bigger. I mean, it's not substantial, but anyways, they're just really cool, tiny little lights. Oh, it does have USB-C charging, and it charges at 5 volts, 1 amp. Because it is a smaller battery, you don't want to charge. So when you're charging these, I know, I mean, they're rated at like milliamps, 400 milliamps is what they're supposed to be charged at. And this has been stepped down just to 1 amp. But definitely be careful when you're charging them. I do recommend taking these out and using like a professional charger. But you guys do you. I've been okay so far charging it in the flashlight, but I just want to give you that heads up. And that's not claimed information from Sofirn. A guy on one of my Facebook threads, he said something about that these batteries aren't rated to take more than 1 amp at a time while they're charging. But enough of me talking about this flashlight. Let's go see what it can do. And I'll have the Sst40 and the L50 high. Personally, I like the Sst40 much more than the L50 high. So yeah, that LED is gonna be coming out real quick. Not a big fan of the L50 high 20 watt. Hopefully the 30 watt is better. But, all right, we'll be back in a minute. This is the Sofirn IF19. 3 stepped modes. Also has smooth ramping. 3 clicks for strobe. 1 click to exit. Has an Sst40, and I think it complements this little light very well. Good throw, nice spill. Wonderful little light. Alright guys, this is the Sofirn IF19 with the L50 high 20 watt. So the beam is much more narrow than it was with the Sst40. It's a very small hotspot, and it really isn't too bright. I mean, it's bright, but it's not nearly as bright as the Workos TS11 with the SFT40. So personally, I like the SST40. There's more spill and seems a little bit brighter. You know, this might throw a little bit further, but there's just not a lot to work with. So this is a quick look at the Workos TS11, which is on my right, and the Sofirn IF19. So here's the TS11, and it is very powerful with that SFT40. I really like it. But the IF19 is also very powerful with the SST40. It doesn't throw quite as far, but there is more spill. So that's the TS11 turbo. Nice concentrated beam. And there is the IF19. 11, 19, 11, 19, 11. All right. But you can see the hotspot's a little bit smaller on the TS11, and there's more gradient from the hotspot to the Corona with the SST40. But both are amazing lights. But so you can see how they look side by side. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and have an awesome day. We'll see you next time.